Samson, is now in theaters, guys. Just say it like that, Samson, whenever someone's like, oh, what movie did you see? Samson, So anyway, Samson is the newest Christian-based film, done by the company PureFlix. They are a Christian organization, company, obviously. And they're doing the story in Judges in the Bible, about Samson. Now, Samson, for those of you who don't know, Samson is someone that was given strength from God, who he would have the strength as long as he did not cut his hair, as long as he didn't drink alcohol, as long as he didn't touch the dead carcasses. So, 3 simple rules, right? You would think, right? Well, the film is focusing on how, like, that's difficult, as well as, hey, you know, my people are suppressed by the Philistines. Can I, or should I, is the real question, help my people in defeating them? Use my powers for maybe that's what it was intended for, to defeat them. So, it's an interesting premise. I will give it that. I thought it was an interesting premise. I think that there is pep to the score. It doesn't feel overly, like, dramatic for the most part. For the most part, it works. It works for what it's going for. The production design is surprisingly not bad. It's actually kind of solid. Not great, but it works for what it was going for. The makeup's also pretty good. I think that the makeup works better for the Philistines than it did for the Israelites, me personally speaking. But cast overall, it's hit or miss. There are some performances where it's like, it's passable, and there are others where it's like, ooh, geez, bring out the cringe in me either. But, I mean, overall, guys, like, it was a mixed bag for me, because I respect the story of Samson a lot. I think it is a very interesting idea. I think that also, so I'll get into the negatives now. The problem with this film, you ready for this, guys? You ready for this? The Bible is not G, PG, or PG-13. The Bible is R, and it's hard R. And I feel as though, and this is going to be an unpopular opinion, I feel as though if HBO were to get the rights with being able to do biblical stories, I think they would do the best jobs ever in terms of doing the Bible justice. Because the Bible, like I said, it is very violent, it is very sexual. I'm sure it's profane, at least, you know, for that time period. And that's the thing, this film, Samson, it feels very watered down. Like, the battle scenes are very dull. They're not interesting in the slightest. There are many scenes of CGI that you can tell it's very blatant and it's not even rendered correctly. At least that's what it appears. Some of the acting is very, overacted to the extent of where it's like, wow, like, dude, like, have you taken any acting classes? And that specifically is the prince, who wants to take over from, his king's perspective. Now, Delilah, I feel as though that's another thing. Delilah, in the film, they're trying to build, like, a romance with it, and I think that that is an interesting point of view. The problem with it is that too, it's watered down to I would say it was even watered down to PG. And I am not saying I just want explicit stuff for this sense of explicit stuff. But when you read the Bible, for crying out loud, there's a scene where Samson gets a jawbone and, like, is beating the Philistines to death. And it's like, when you watch that scene in this film, it's just like, you don't really feel it at all, man. Like, it's just like, okay. Now, if you've seen Game of Thrones, if you've seen Westworld, imagine that type of stuff going on in a biblical world. It would be insane. It would be memorable. You would hear people talking about it for many moons to come. And that's what I want. I don't want it to be where it's like, these stories get watered down and then spoon-fed to the audiences, the masses, and then it's like the type of thing where discerning audience members, they watch and they're like, well, this isn't good. And as a discerning audience member, I am talking to you, PureFlix, and all you other companies. I want to see a biblical story done justice. Samson, unfortunately, isn't that story, but I feel as though there was potential. It could have been great, but unfortunately, I'll be giving Samson a 2 out of 5 star rating. It's not as bad as it could have been, but it was also quite a disappointment when all is said and done, because the story of Samson has only been done once or twice. It's not like the story of the Ten Commandments where it's been done to death. But again, I feel as though and again, I'm at this point repeating myself, but I feel as though we need a company that is willing to take risks to make the Bible relevant for today, but at the same time having it to where it makes sense. It's not watering down the content of the Bible, because that in itself should be considered a sin. You don't want to water down something that was meant to be seen as, like, cringe-inducing, like that's life, Someone hitting you over the head with a jawbone is not exactly supposed to be like, okay, that's safe for my kids to watch it. It should be like, oh, holy cow, like, that's violent. So it's like, yeah, it is. It's a jawbone, for crying out loud. But enough of my rant about Samson, guys. Samson, what did you guys think about it if you did see it? Let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate you guys' support, and I'll catch you guys later.